There's finally a way to play Sonic Unleashed on PC without facing multiple crashes and heavy stuttering. I just recently finished the game myself using Xenia, and the only problem I had was some small freezes at the beginning of the game and only one crash towards the end. And the performance was pretty good all around at 60 FPS. So in this video, I'll show you the full setup guide so you can play the game as well. So the first thing you're gonna do is download Xenia Manager. The link will be on the description of this video, and on this page you wanna click on whatever it is the latest release available, and on this page you're gonna scroll down a little bit, and under assets you're gonna click on xeniamanager.zip. So download that to your computer. So this is a zip file and you're gonna have to extract that, and you can use either WinRAR or 7-zip or the extracting tool of Windows 11. I'm personally gonna recommend using 7-zip. The link will be on the description as well. And once you download and install that, you're gonna right click on Xenia Manager, select 7-zip or WinRAR depending on what you have, and then select extract here. And you're gonna end up with these two files right here. And you can go ahead and delete the original zip file. We're not gonna need this anymore. And to start, you're gonna double click here where it says Xenia Manager. This window will show up, and the first thing you're gonna see is the installation tool of Xenia. So this manager will take care of downloading the emulator for you. And you're gonna go ahead and select Install Xenia Canary. Wait for it to download, should only take a few seconds, and there you go, select OK, and the emulator is there with you. Now what you're gonna do once this is here, you're gonna double click on the Xenia Canary folder. This is the emulator folder, and you're gonna double click here where it says Xenia_Canary. This will open the emulator, and one thing that has changed in the latest version of this is that you have to create a profile now on the emulator. And on this window, you're gonna select here Create Profile, and you can give it any name you want it here, and then click on Create. Now your profile is saved, and this is needed for saving the game later on. With that out of the way, we're gonna go ahead and add the game to the manager, and I'm gonna drop the game file of Sonic Unleashed in the same folder right here on Xenia Canary. And you're gonna have to find the game on your own. You know the drill. I can't show that here on the video. And once you have that with you, you're gonna go back to the Xenia Manager, and you're gonna click on this Add Game button. Now you just have to navigate to the emulator folder, locate your game right here, double click on that, and the emulator will pop up at first and then it will close. And once that's done, you're gonna see the information about the game here. So you just have to click on the game name once, and the manager will add it here. Still here on the manager window, you're gonna click where it says Xenia Settings. It will take you to this page, and in here there are a couple of settings we have to change. The first one is right on audio settings where it says max queued frames. By default it's set to 8. You're gonna erase this and type 16. Now scroll down a little bit to where it says graphical settings, and on the first option, graphics API, you're gonna click on where it says any and select Vulkan. Now on the option right below that, the render target path, you're gonna click on auto and you're gonna select FBO. That's all you have to do here. Don't forget to click on Save Changes and then click on OK in this window, and there we go. Now back on the manager main page, you're gonna click on the game icon with the right button on your mouse, put your mouse on top of Game Patch, and then select Download and Apply Patch. This window will pop up asking you if you have the patch downloaded. Click on No, because that way the manager will find the game patch for you. And you're gonna have these two options right here. You're gonna click on the one that says Sonic Unleashed TU2. That is the game with the title update number 2 that we also have to install here. So click on that, select OK. Now right click the game icon once again, select Game Patch, but this time you're gonna click on Manage Patches. And these are the emulator patches for this game. And the only two you have to select is 60 FPS, click on off and change it to on, and disable color adjustment. These are the only two patches you have to enable here. But if you don't have a good PC, you can disable the 60 FPS patch for better performance. But of course, the game is gonna be locked at 30 FPS. That's all you gotta do for these patches, and also on the manager too. So you can go ahead and click on close here. Now back on the manager folder, you're gonna double click on the Xenia Canary folder, and I'm gonna drop the title update for Sonic right here. But this can't be anywhere on your PC, and just like the game, you're gonna have to find the title update on your own. I can't show that on the video. And the manager actually has a function to download a title update for any games you have, but for some reason, the update that it grabs for Sonic in this case is not working for the rest of the setup. So you're gonna have to grab that from a different source, and the file is going to look very similar to the one I have here. And to install that, you're gonna double click on Xenia Canary. On this window, click on File, and then Install Content. Now navigate to the Xenia Canary folder, locate your patch, and double click on that. You should see this window with the confirmation that the patch has been installed. Now to add all the fixes and mods we need to play this game on the emulator, we first have to extract the ISO of the game. And we can find that on this page on the Game Banana website. And this is the guide that I've used as a reference for coming up with this tutorial. So all the credits go to the author of this guide. And on this page, you're gonna scroll down here a little bit and get to the common prerequisites section. And you're gonna locate the ISO extract here. And you can right click on this name and then select Open Link in New Tab. Then you're gonna download the file in there to the same Xenia Canary folder we've been using. So that's gonna be a zip file. You're gonna have to extract that once again with 7-zip. Select Extract here. And you're gonna see this folder, ISO extract. You can go ahead and delete the original one. We're not gonna need that anymore. Double click on the ISO folder, and inside, double click on Xbox 360 ISO extract. It's likely that this program will locate the files for you, but if it doesn't, you're gonna click here on Choose ISO folder, locate your Xenia folder, and you're gonna click on the folder where the ISO of the game is. In my case, it's on this Xenia Unleashed folder, right? So click on this one, select OK. Now click on Choose Destination. And once again, locate the same Xenia Canary folder. In my case, the Xenia Unleashed folder. Select OK. Now, if your program is looking like the one that I have here, you have to uncheck everything else with the exception of the ISO of the game, of course. It actually located the game here twice, but you only have to keep it checked in one of them here. Now, click on Go and wait for the program to extract the ISO. This should only take a few seconds or so. Once this button is back on green, that means the process is done. So you can close this. And if we go back to the Xenia folder, you're now gonna see another folder with the same name of the original folder. This can be a little confusing, I know. And inside this, you're gonna see the contents of the ISO of the game fully extracted and ready to be modded and fixed. If you want it, you can go ahead and rename this folder so that it doesn't look too confusing. Right click on that, select rename, and you can just type whatever name you want as long as you remember where the extracted ISO will be. Now back on the Game Banana website, this time we're gonna grab the Unleashed Mod Manager. Right click on that, select Open Link in New Tab. It should take you right here, so scroll down a little bit. Here where it says Files, you're gonna click on Manual Download, and then click on Download right here, and put that on the same Xenia Manager folder. So it's gonna come as this latest file. It's zip once again, so you're gonna have to extract that one more time. There's only a single file inside this Unleashed Mod Manager. Delete the original file, we're not gonna need this. Now you're gonna double click on Unleashed Mod Manager. And this window will pop up, but before doing anything else, back here on the Manager folder, I want you to right click anywhere on this folder to bring these options, and you're gonna create a new folder here. Select New and then Folder, and the name of this folder is gonna be Mods, just like this one. Now go back to the Manager, and here on the first option, Mods Directory, you're gonna click on this little square with the 3 dots on the side. Now navigate to the Unleashed folder. You're gonna locate the mods folder we just came up with, click on it once, and then click on Select Folder. Now right below that on Game Executable, click on the little square once again, and it should open the mods folder because we were here just now. and you're gonna click on the Xenia Unleashed folder right before that, and you're gonna click on the ISO extracted folder we came up with. That is the folder where the extracted ISO is gonna be, right? And you're gonna select this default.zax folder. And on this one, you can just double click to add it into the manager. Now on emulator executable, click on the square once again, and this time go back to the main folder, double click on the Xenia Canary folder, and double click on the Xenia_Canary. And that's pretty much all you gotta do here. Now click on continue, and you should see this window right here. And the first thing you're gonna do is click on the settings, and on this page you're gonna click on this name in yellow, the install one-click URL handler, so that we can grab the mods easier later. Now go to the emulator option, and right on options where it says API, click on DirectX and change this to Vulkan. And also on the bottom, click on the square where it says VSync. Now back on the Game Banana website, we're gonna grab the necessary mods. And the first one, right here, right below that, the SU fixes. Click on this one to download, and you're seeing this DLC content mod. This is obviously for the DLC content of this game. I'm gonna cover that later in the video. But anyway, the first one is SU fixes. Download that to the mods folder we created previously. And if you have a AMD graphics card, also get this grass explosion fix. Now scroll up on this page a little bit, and you're gonna click here where it says Vulkan. It's gonna take you to this part of the guide, and we're gonna grab these 3 mods. And the Dragon Road and the HDR fix can be installed using the mod manager, but the Eggman Land, we have to download that and add it later, which is an easy thing to do. So let's start with the Dragon Road one. Right click on that, open link in new tab. It will take you to this page, and all you have to do here is select this one-click install to the mod manager, and this window will show up. Go ahead and click on open, and you're gonna wait a couple of seconds, and you're gonna see this window popping up for you. That is the mod manager doing work. Now all you have to do is where it says, do you want to download this mod? Click on yes to download, and it's gonna install that on the right folder already. Now select OK, and that's the first mod done. So let's go back to the page, and this time is the Eggman Land mod. This one you have to download and put it on the mods folder. So right click, open link in new tab, locate the mods folder, and then click on save. Now there's only the Unleashed HDR fix. Right click on that, open link in new tab, and just do the same thing again. Click on one click install, select open. You can also select on always allow, so you can skip this part. Wait a few seconds, there you go. Select yes to download the mod. Wait a few seconds, and there you go. That's all we gotta do here for the mods that cover the base game. I'm also gonna recommend you to use this Werehog's Fury mod. The main thing that this mod does is improve the pacing on the Werehog levels by basically speeding up the game, which is a good addition on its own, but the main reason for using this mod is to disable the fur on the Werehog levels, in which there is a problem on the emulator. The fur on Werehog Sonic is all glitched out, and there is a way to fix that by changing one of the settings on Xenia, but if you do that, it affects the performance really bad. The game starts to freeze a lot more, and I couldn't even get 40 FPS with this setting. So the solution for now is to disable the fur on Sonic. So under the Files section, you're gonna click on where it says here No Fur Render, click on one click, install, and do the same thing we have been doing all this time. Open the mod manager, wait a few seconds, wait for it to pop up, and then select yes to download this mod. Now back on the mods folder, you should see all your mods in here, and you have to extract the Eggman Land and the SU fixes before adding them to the game. So you're gonna press and hold the left button on your mouse to select both of them. Right click, select 7-zip, and then extract here. Once that's done, delete the original zip files. So they all have to be inside a folder like this one. They're all ready to go. You just have to go back to the mod manager, select the mods here, and they're not gonna show up because you have to refresh. And you can do that by just clicking here, refresh mods list, and they're all gonna show up. Now you have to select each one of them by clicking on the box right next to it. There you go. And to install that, you're gonna click on Save, Install Content, and Launch Unleashed. And every time you want to play this game, you have to do it by clicking on the Save Install Content option. I'm not sure if this is currently a bug on this mod manager or something like that, but it's how you do it right now. You have to choose this option. And after that's done, the game should start as normal. And it's gonna launch the game in full screen. If you wanna get rid of that, press F11 to open as a window, and you can start playing. And once you press start, this window will show up. This is about your save file of the game. Go ahead and click on save, so that way it saves your progress on the emulator. And Xenia can only be played with a Xbox controller. It works by default. If you just plug in your controller, you can start playing. But if you're using a PlayStation 4 or PS5 controller, you can still play it by using softwares like DS4 Windows or DualSense X. They emulate a Xbox controller on your PlayStation controller. I've personally used DS4 Windows for many years, and I can confirm that it works. You have to do the same thing if you're using a keyboard, but I don't know about any programs that do that and works well. It's also very likely you're gonna get a screen flickering glitch that happens right here on the first stage of the game, right before you cross the bridge. And if that happens to you, you're gonna press F5 on your keyboard. This is gonna refresh your GPU cache, and it's gonna go back to normal, and you can start playing again. But I only had to do this on the first level. It never happened again on my playthrough. And at this point, you can delete the original ISO of the game. We're not gonna need that anymore. For adding the DLC into the game, first you're gonna need to find the DLC files on your own. I cannot show that on the video, just like the actual game files. I have them in a folder like this, and this game had 6 pieces of DLC released. So first thing you're gonna do once you have those files is go to the Xenia Canary folder, double click on Xenia_Canary, and we're gonna do the same thing as the game update. Click on File, and then click on Install Content. Now you just have to browse to that DLC folder, like this, and now you can just click and hold the left button on your mouse to select everything, and you can click on open, or you can press enter on your keyboard, and in just a few seconds the DLC will be installed on the emulator. There you go, you're gonna see a message exactly like this one. But this is not enough. We also have to grab a few fixes for the DLC on that website guide. Now back on Game Banana, the first file is next to the files we got before. This one right here, the SU Fixes DLC content. Click on this one, download, and put that on the mods folder of your PC. For the second file, you're gonna scroll up a bit again, and then select Vulkan just like we did before. And it's this one, the Unleashed HDR Fix for DLC. Click on this one and do the same thing. Download to the mods folder. Now back on the mods folder, we're gonna start with the DLC Fixes manual patch, because the HDR fix is a bit different than what we have been doing all this time. So for the first one, right click on that, select 7-zip, and then extract here. Now you're gonna go back to the main folder, double click on the Xenia Canary, and open the emulator once again, the Xenia_Canary. And we're gonna do the same thing we did just now with the DLC. Click on File, and then Install Content. But this time, you're gonna navigate to the main folder, double click on the mods folder, double click on the DLC Fixes folder, and then just select everything. Press and hold the left button on your mouse, select everything, and press enter. And pretty much instantly, all the files are gonna be installed. Now, for the other file, like I said, that's gonna be a bit different. So let's go back there to the mods folder and double click on the Unleash HDR Fix, the zip file. You're gonna see this folder, so double click on that, and inside you're gonna see these 6 folders. And if you notice already, these files are named exactly like the actual DLC for the game. So what you have to do here is go back to the main Xenia folder, double click on Xenia Canary, and there should be this content folder there with you. Double click on that. Inside, you should see these 2 folders. Double click on the one with a bunch of zeros. like this, and inside another folder with the ID of the game. Double click on that, and then double click on the folder that has a bunch of zeros and end with the number 2, like this. And there you go. Now you can see that we have the exact same folders, right? But this one here is just the fix for the HDR, or the lighting of the game in this case. So what you're gonna do here on 7-zip, press and hold the left button on your mouse to select everything. Now you're gonna press and hold with the left button on your mouse so you can drag all of this into this folder around here, like this. And then it's gonna move those items into this folder. This is gonna take a little while, and it's probably going to look like your window has crashed, just like it's happening to me right now. But don't worry, that's normal. Just wait a few seconds, and there you go. Now the files are in place once again. So now you're gonna reopen the mod manager if you haven't already. You have to click on everything, select save install content, and launch Unleashed. And from there, you can start playing the game as normal. I have many tutorial videos like this on the channel showing you how to install and play games on emulators, so if you like what you saw, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, and check out my other stuff. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you soon.